Hey everybody, look at that guy. Ooh, that doesn't look good, doesn't it? Holding his guts like that. Well, it's a pretty cool effect for the 2006. What is it? Okay, the Fairfield County, the Fairfield County 4. It's a found footage cryptic found footage horror movie. Cryptic being like the Wendigo, the Sasquatch, the Wolf Man, a werewolf, And it gets a score on IMDb of 2.8. Now, there is actually some. I gave it a 5. I think for a found footage fan who wants to have a good time just with this thing, it's in my opinion, the acting is so bad that it's funny. Yeah, with a few the guy who I just you see that guy that was half his kill, and the killer kills the guy in a coup de grace, and that was actually a pretty cool effect in my opinion. Yeah, it gets really bloody, but only in the last 10 minutes. So it's directed by Joshua Brooker. Now, this guy is known for making found footage movies. He makes a lot of horror found footage movies. He's already busy with another one. And they advertised the shit out of this movie because there's this guy on called Joe Bob Briggs, also aka John Bloom, who plays like this. I think he's a lawyer, investigative lawyer. He's only doing the intros, right? So he's not a lot in the scenes, but he's a known actor in the horror community. He was also in movies like famous movies like Face Off, Casino, uh, and so on and so on. There's a lot of in these famous Casino is a movie with De Niro and such. Face Off with John Travolta and Nick Cage. But he did a lot of things like Bloody Summer Camp, a lot of these B slasher horror movies, and also the last thing that he actually did is the Lost Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, and and I'm not sure what it is. It's about horror, and he did like 218 episodes. It's a TV series, but it looks like this almost like an anthology. He was also in one of the VHS one sequels. I think the VHS retro one, if you remember that one. The which takes place in a lot of the clips takes place in the 70s. It had that with that woman that had that weird mask on and was going in this virtual world, and she sees that monster and she's basically getting fucked up, and people don't know that she's really getting fucked up, and they think it's a show. That one, if you remember that one, he's also in that. So they advertised it with his name, but he's barely in it. You see him like he's the guy who says we found the tape, and take it with a grain of salt. And at some
You
point he
felt
says
during the next portion
the
of this
last
film that make you
20
feel the
minutes or
first time you
so of the
watched it?
movie, the guy says what happened then,
Fear.
fear, he said, like that. And then at the end he says something more, but um, it begins with a lot of these YouTubers, reviewers, and things like that who think it's fake, it's all bullshit, that they think they're still alive, these people, or some believe it's true, some believe it's real. So you have got these four cryptic investigators: Randy, the yeah, kind of the director of the group; Peter, and also he's the camera guy; Peter, the sound guy, I believe Peter, Emma and Amy, and these two were doing the kind of. Were the reporters basically. Now, so it this Peter is one of my favorite characters. So this guy, he starts. He's in the car. You can already hear he's kind of a douchebag, but that's just his way of being appreciative. But he smokes. So, like a chimney. I think John Carpenter is nothing compared to this guy. He's constantly, when you see him in frame, he has his ciggies in his mouth. He's talking with his ciggies all the way through the movie until his unfaithful demise that I kind of spoiled in the beginning. But he's non-stop. Well, wait, where do I have to put this camera? And even people who say, "Who the fuck are you?" Can you repeat
It's okay
that?
though.
Because
You know, bro, what the fuck is your problem?
background noise.
Just hold on. Hold for the plane. Just
He's smoking his
these-
mouth.
say all that again if you want to.
He loses his fucking lighter. Oh shit! Does anyone has a lighter?
Oh my god, we're starving.
They might have a lighter.
You bent my
So, lighter?
cigarette.
I need a
A cigarette bend. Oh no! I don't put it back. Oh, no. I'll put multiple moments of this guy talking throughout this review. Now, some people will think it's frustrating, but actually, I thought it was funny as hell. And there's okay, so these people are going to look. Apparently, in Fairfield, Connecticut, and Connecticut in general is a very cryptic area where you have a lot of these creatures and monsters living that are legends, right? If that's true, I don't know. I'm not from the US. Somebody from the US can vouch for that, maybe? Put it in the comments if that's true in Connecticut. So, they're looking for the Fairfield County werewolf. And they're going, on the street to ask people. And the first person, it's actually the second person, but the first person on the street that they encounter is this redhead. And I'll put the scene momentarily. A little background. This woman, it's like, I first thought, okay, she's standing against the wall, in this alley, and you would think, okay, that was a placed person there, one of those things that happens that they put somebody there to get an interview, but it's fake. No, it was actually a real person standing there against the wall, just bad acting. Here's the clip.
for kids, and we're here filming about the werewolf legend.
Oh my god, the creature.
Do you know anything about it?
I can tell you about the creature.
Have you had an experience?
Oh yes. Oh yes. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. Okay, this is what
Wait, hold on.
happened.
Hold on.
Yeah. Do you want to get this all framed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's maybe do it.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there because you can already see how ridiculous an acting that was. But I thought it was, what is that? Okay, that wasn't a placed interviewee, just sitting there in a back alley somewhere in this quaint town of Fairfield. And then so you've got, okay, so they're looking for that werewolf. And at some point they get this guide called Val Pearson who lived there during the building, the colonization of that town. I mean, his family, of course. He's the generations of. Here's a picture of him. Kind of looks like a werewolf, doesn't he? And in the last 30 minutes, he will be the guide, because they're waiting, of course, for full moon, and he will guide them through the woods and try to find the Fairfield County werewolf. Because everybody knows it's bullshit, but he's just doing this for the attention. No, the what is thrill seekers. These people. Now it's weird because he says apparently I don't do this, but you guys. His nephew works for the mayor, and they went to the mayor, and this mayor. Okay, the mayor. Okay, the mayor's office was this little shack with this placeholder mats in the beginning. Welcome, hello. And you just go in, and it's like just this little house. And his secretary was standing in the corner, and he's drinking like whiskey and scotch. And in real life, he's like a bodybuilder, apparently. If you see his picture, he looks like this muscular dude. And then this other dude comes in, this suave in his suit kind of guy who looks like the mayor. No, he's like this, the guy who handles the PR, and he says, "Go to my uncle," and his name is Pearson too. He's my uncle, Val Pearson. He'll give you the tour, but don't think you're gonna see something. Okay, so that's basically what they do. They interview people, and eventually, and they get the mayor even that gets to say things. They even go to okay. There was a missing person, a girl, and they never found her back, and her dog. Now, okay, so apparently this girl was found by. I mean, she was with her mom, but then she went in the woods and she saw her girl, her eyes pale, and her guts hanging out of her body, and then dragged away. And the dog was gone too. And that's the last thing she saw. Pros and cons. Pros, I think it's a cheesy, bad acting, found footage movie, but I think it's this fun bad acting. Yeah, it was fun bad acting. And also the movie toys with the fact that is it a werewolf? Is it a guy in a werewolf suit, or is it just a serial killer who thinks he's a werewolf? So they really toy with that, and I like that. I like that. The gore effects were actually not bad. A few were cheesy, a few weren't bad. So, like I said, the group, the YouTube cryptic group, Randy, Peter, Emma, and Amy, their kills, they were pretty good. Yeah. But the ending, it kind of is. There's something in the ending that I don't know what happened there. There's something. I'm not gonna spoil the ending for people who want to see this because, like I said, I'm gonna give it a 5. Give it a watch. Found footage aficionados are gonna say it sucks, but a found footage fans are gonna say it sucks. But it was so funny in a way. And like I said, I'm gonna call him the cigarette guy. I mean, he's just amazingly funny. He's just always with his cigarette, and I think he dies almost with a cigarette in his mouth. Those are probably the pros, and the cons are it's bad acting. Okay, so that is bad. Some of these people were just too bad, like the woman that they just took out of the alley, and it looked like she was placed there. No, it was a real person just sitting there in an alley doing weird shit, acting like they knew them, and then okay, that was a little bit over the top. And the mayor, that was weird because he's sitting there drinking whiskeys, and then the guy comes out saying he's a drunk, he's a flamboyant guy, you see him, but it's all off the record, right? Because we don't want to let this happen. And then he said it doesn't like Peter, and he said, "Who the fuck are you? Can you repeat that?" Because there was an airplane for the sound wasn't good. And that's actually one of the better parts. So like I said, Like I said, the cons were a few people were just over the top bad. All right, and sadly enough, only the last 10 minutes of the movie, it's. But I have to say, it's full carnage. But it gets confusing at the end, really confusing. Um, there's a twist, and yeah, and then it ends with, the Joe Bob Briggs. I don't know the guy. I never heard of him, but I never heard of him. But okay, but yeah, he ends with something like, you can say that it's. I can tell you that. I mean, it's a found footage movie. Everybody dies. He says, because of these families coming true, because he says we're gonna do this entire investigation, the corrupt sheriff's department of Fairfield County, the mayor and all that shit. We're gonna do this, and then we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And then he just goes away, the microphone out, because that's another interview crew, right? But there's also the mom of this child that was dragged away was all so bad, so bad. I'm not gonna show the clip, but she was trying to be sad, and you could first you didn't see tears. I think she was laughing. It was like the. But she was supposed to be sad, and during it was dry as a bone. I mean, come on, come on. But that was kind of and then one of the crew members says, Amy, I'm thinking, Amy, can I give you a hug? So yeah, I mean, it's a cheesy, bad, and some parts are, it's so bad it's good, and some parts are just bad, and then you got some good gore at the last 10 minutes. Everything goes to shit. It's not only them who gets killed. There's a pandemonium basically. A lot of people get killed, but I don't understand the ending. There's something about the ending. I think there's also, actually at some point the guy, yeah, just if watch it, give it a chance. Give it a chance. That's what I'm telling you. If you like the video, please subscribe, like it, comment. See you next time. Signing off. Bye.